So in a bid to be a bit more relatable, or just to kind of get to know you guys and you guys get to know me a little bit more, I thought I would do quite a fun video of your assumptions about me, especially because some of my absolute favorite YouTubers have been making these videos recently, and I thought it would just be really fun because I got to learn so much more about them, and I want my content to be a little bit more personal, so I thought I would create one myself. So I hope you guys enjoy it. I just want to say a quick thank you to Squarespace for making this video possible, but more about them at the end. Okay, I'm just gonna take a quick look at the ones that I looked at. Some of them were so funny. It was just really interesting to kind of understand where you guys are coming from. Let's start with some pretty tame ones, I think. Okay, the first one, it's really silly, but I thought I would share it with you because it's so weird. You have a tail that you're hiding from us. It's not long, but it's like a little nub some of those dogs have. I can in fact tell you that is not the case. However, I really enjoyed that one. Rather tickled me. Okay, the next one's really interesting. It's you don't like people who stop being vegan. Now, if you don't know the mustards, which I'm sure all of you do, I actually went on a podcast to talk about those people who, like the YouTubers who kind of decided that they didn't want to be vegan anymore and made videos about them. And to say that I don't like people who stop being vegan is quite a big thing to say, to be honest. You can't always understand why people aren't able to be vegan anymore or choose not to be vegan anymore. And I don't necessarily agree that they're inherently bad people. In fact, Jenny Mustard was saying how she said there's like a 2-year mark where a lot of people seem to have made this massive life change, and then psychologically after 2 years a lot of people kind of give up on it or something. But I absolutely don't think that people who aren't vegan anymore are bad people, and I certainly don't not like them. I think what's detrimental is when YouTubers who have these massive followings kind of don't just say, oh, I'm not vegan anymore. They kind of then try and do damage to the kind of vegan movement because their personal experience wasn't a positive one. However, I mean, life's short, especially if climate change is coming. I mean, people probably don't agree with a lot of my life choices, etc. And I'm never going to be that person who's like, I don't like you anymore because you wasted an apple sticker yesterday. And obviously I'm not equating that to veganism. After all, I am vegan, and I probably, hopefully, fingers crossed, will be vegan for the rest of my life. You know, health permitting, blah, blah, blah. It's an interesting one. Okay, the next one, which I found quite interesting, because a few people said you are not religious, or they said something like that you believe in the universe, so you are not religious, have faith, or atheist. Which I find an interesting one because I've studied theology before, and I've never come from a Christian family. I've always come from a family that, well, my dad, never talked about religion or faith or God ever. But my mum actively was like, I do not believe in God. I don't believe in religion, blah, 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 blah. And to be honest, like everything I've learned, I fully understand why people do believe in God. I just absolutely don't. I just don't believe that. Yeah, I just don't believe in God at all. But at the same time, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know everything there is to know about Christianity or about Islam or about Hinduism or about Confucius or about Jewish religion. But it's just that I think it's a personal thing. I think I am fully jealous of people who have faith in something else because from my experience, they've been the happiest, the most kind and loving people I've come into contact with. I just think it's quite detrimental when people aren't allowed to be themselves because they think that this higher being, etc., tells them that it's not right. Especially having a lot of people in my family who are, and friendship groups who are in same-sex relationships, for them to feel like their relationships are wrong, it causes me a lot of pain to think that they can't be themselves because their God is telling them that their natural lives are wrong and inherently bad. So for me, something like that is just really hard to comprehend, and it fills me with a lot of anger to feel like they feel bad about who they naturally are, and that's not anything I can ever support ever. You have a lot of friends who also live a low impact lifestyle. You're wrong there, my friend. The only friends I have who live a low impact lifestyle are people I've met through the internet, through YouTube, through Instagram, through the kind of world of social media and creators. So my kind of leading by example, etc., has had a massive impact on my friends and my family and my boyfriend, but they're not low impact in the way that maybe quite militant or quite far down the journey people are. However, I personally like to think that they're low impact, because they try really hard. And they do what's possible for them in their situation. They have really high powered jobs. They work really hard for charities, and I feel like that's their contribution, and they're doing really great stuff. So I don't feel saddened or upset by that, because while I'm trying to deal with climate change and that kind of issue, they're dealing with everyday issues that are happening now to people who are already suffering. I just love the fact that they use Keep Cup or they use a water bottle, etc. And most of them are, to be honest, vegetarian or vegan, so they've made pretty big changes. And that's all you can ask. You dislike confrontation. Well, my friend, you are correct. I really not only disliked confrontation, I actively avoid it. If I know I have to have confrontation, I will literally go away, think about it, and just try and come up with a really calm way of talking about something. However, if someone gets all up in my face when I'm out or something, I just kind of shut down and go really quiet, and I'm like, I'm really sorry, bye. I hate it. This is why I try to be nice to everyone, just avoid confrontation. Okay, next one. Interesting. Marriage itself isn't important to you. Human connection is more important. Yeah, absolutely. I am not, as I said earlier, not religious, so I don't necessarily believe in the institution of marriage. I don't believe that for my relationship to be important or to prove commitment, that it has to be seen in the eyes of God and sign off some little paper away. However, the problem is, because my boyfriend is American, the likelihood of us having to get married is quite high, which is ridiculous. We've been together for over 5 years and we haven't been able to live together because it's so hard to get a visa to move to the UK. And no offense, guys, but I am absolutely not moving to the US. And someone even said that I will spend I will move there for a little time, but absolutely not. Absolutely not. And it's for many reasons, But yeah, for me, human connection is far more important. I am as committed to my boyfriend as marriage would permit, but we don't feel the need to get married and have this lavish, ostentatious wedding, or because, to be honest, especially in British culture, in my kind of family and the people I know who get married, it's not about the couple at all. It ends up being about the family member who didn't get invited and is pissed off, or the old family members that you're not that close with but have to be invited because it's rude not to. That kind of thing really pisses me off, because it's kind of what, excuse me, I'm supposed to be getting married. This is supposed to be about my relationship to the person that I love most in the world. And yet somehow it's about the flowers, it's about the food. Also, my wedding would be vegan, and I know a lot of people who would complain about that. And I'm sorry, but it's absolutely not your bloody choice. So to be honest, if we get married, it will be on a beach in Cyprus or something ridiculous. It's not going to be in a church. It's not going to be in the eyes of God. It's not going to be surrounded by family members that I don't like. We feel strongly about this, and we feel the same about this. So, okay, that you're not originally from England. Unfortunately, I'm as boring as it gets. Literally, I'm only English. Apart from my mum, it's kind of Welsh, but not really. I am a straight A student. Wow, that is very kind of you to say, but again, absolutely not. I guess I'm an A student when it matters, but for my GCSEs, which are the exams you take when you're 16, for my mock, I've rarely got any A's. I got mostly B's, a few C's, even a D in history, and people were not happy about that. So I worked really, really hard, and then I got all A stars, A's and B's for my GCSEs. But when it came to my A levels, which is what you take in the last 2 years of school, in my AS levels, I got like A, B, C, U or something, because I just was absolutely just like, academia is not my bag. Like, it's not the thing I like to do. I preferred sport, I preferred like all the other stuff, music, etc. But for my A levels, I was like, I'm so tired of people thinking that I'm stupid, because people didn't realize that I was just uninterested and a bit lazy when it came to academic work. But I was so fed up of people thinking that I was just an idiot, basically, that I worked incredibly hard for the last year of my school. Every day after school, I would go and sit in the common room or the library space for A-level students, and I would work for a minimum an hour and a half, just revision every single day, just consolidating all of my notes throughout the entire year, not even during just exam period time, so that when it did come to exam period time, I would be in a beautiful position to sort everything out. I got 2 A stars and an A for my A levels, thus proving not an idiot. However, on the actual day of when I got my results, although this might prove that I am an idiot, I got my results and I was like, oh, 2A, like 1 A star and 2 A's, that's great. And I showed it to my friend and she was like, no, you got 2 A stars and an A. So maybe I am a little bit of an idiot. But one of my teachers who I loved her. She was the deputy head of the 6th form, and she came up to me and she was like, I'm really proud of you, like, I knew you could do it. And to be honest, I believed her, because she always made it seem like I could do it. However, everyone else, apart from like my closest friends, but like everyone else was really like surprised and was like, oh my god, Imi, well done, you did really well. And that got really, really, really sickening after a while, to know how little people thought of me and what I was capable of. And also, it was someone's birthday that night, so we all, like my whole year group went, and we were like celebrating like their birthday, but also like our results evening and stuff. And I just found myself sitting on the sofa with one of my good friends, and he'd done really badly, and he was just sitting there, he was quite down, and I should have been like really super happy and on top of the world. And I was actually really down as well, because I was so fed up with how little people thought of my academic kind of career, that I was just like, that it wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth spending every single day trying to prove to these people that I was clever, because once I got to that point, I was furious that I had put in all this work for someone else and not for myself. And obviously, looking back on it, I wouldn't have been able to go to university and do the things I wanted to do if I hadn't have worked really hard. Well, the university of my choice, if I hadn't have worked really hard. But you just have to remember to do things for you, not for other people, because at the end of the day, people will show their true colours, and it won't be worth it for you. It won't be worth it. Just saying. I enjoy this one. That you were an early bloomer. Well, if that means kind of in terms of like boobs and stuff, I mean, I'm still waiting. This one's cute. That you really miss your boyfriend a lot. Yes, I miss him all the time, all day, every day, except for when I'm busy. For some reason, I feel you're not fond of cats. Quite to the contrary, I love cats. I love all animals. So cute. This video was a long one, but I wanted it to be long because I wanted it to just to get to know you guys. For those of you who like longer videos, then obviously this is for you. And then those of you who don't like longer videos, hopefully you enjoyed the chapters in the bottom, so you could just skip the things that you wanted to know about. Just before I go, I want to thank Squarespace for sponsoring this video. You can choose from tons of designer and award-winning templates, and basically the management of your blog and its comments never has been easier. And Squarespace really allows you to do this on the go as well with their mobile app, which is awesome. And obviously, as you know, I host the Low Impact Movement website on Squarespace, so they've made it super easy for me. And head to squarespace.com/sustainablyvegan to get a free trial and 10% off your first purchase. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you got to know me a little bit better, and I will see you hopefully on Friday or Sunday. I'm trying to make lots more videos because this is what I love to do, and I just haven't been doing it as much as I should have. So thank you. And I'll see you guys soon.